which was the lowest attended game among the opening 6 matchups in group play. 4 of the 6 opening games drew over 20,000 fans. This had some observers wondering if the presence of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese would have the stands packed for Team USA.
Stephen A. Smith has just shocked Team USA basketball. Can you believe Caitlin Clark was left off the Olympic roster? Is this the same Caitlin Clark who has lit up the WNBA and drawn record crowds? Smith didn't hold back, and now everyone is asking if Team USA has made the worst blunder of the year. Let's briefly discuss Caitlin Clark. Have you seen what she's been doing lately? This girl is not only good, she is changing the game. And it's not just about statistics. It's about how she plays, the energy she exudes, and how she's gotten everyone talking about women's basketball. Since entering the WNBA, she has packed arenas like nobody's business. We're talking about an average of over 16,000 fans every game. That is not just good, but league leading. But things become much better. Remember the WNBA All-Star Game from this year? It was not just popular, but also a record breaker. We're talking about 3.4 million viewers. That's a 300% rise over last year. Can you believe it? And guess who was there in the center of all the action? Caitlin Clark. Now let's put this into context. Clark isn't just drawing spectators. She's attracting the type of attention often reserved for elite NBA players. We're talking crowded arenas, rising TV numbers, and non-stop social media activity. People can't take their eyes off her whenever she goes on the court. Even celebrities are flying out to catch a glimpse of her in action. So this is when things become very fascinating. With all of this talk, excitement, and record-breaking, how is it possible that Team USA did not want Caitlin Clark on their Olympic team? It just doesn't make any sense. Caitlin Clark is a box office sensation, as Stephen A. Smith brilliantly stated. It matters if you like it or not, and he's correct. In today's environment, being a great player means more than simply what you do on the court. It's all about the excitement you create, the people you attract, and of course, the money you can make for the sport. Think about it. The Olympics are all about presenting the very best. It is about putting together athletes who can compete at the top level while also capturing the world's attention.
Should have been on the team ahead of the 12 people selected ahead of her because of basketball. I said marketing matters in everything. Promotion matters in everything. And you're not going to get around that. That is what I said. And you go over to Paris, and Team USA, not Japan, not China, not Serbia, not Puerto Rico. No. Team USA draws the lowest attendance. How's it feel?
Caitlin Clark is currently captivating the interest of women's basketball fans like no other player. Now let's discuss about Team USA's recent international performances. You may suppose they've been dominating as usual, right? Okay, not quite. They've had several close calls and even some unexpected losses. Remember the 2019 FIBA World Cup? Team USA placed 8th. That's not only disheartening, it's a wake-up call. But this is when things become very fascinating. The problems are more than simply wins and losses. They are also about how they play and who is watching. Take a look at their first game versus Japan in the recent competition. Are you ready for this? Only 4,500 supporters turned up. That is not a typo. 4,500 supporters backing Team USA. Can you believe it? You might believe that's usual for these games. No, not even close. Other games in the same competition were jam-packed. Spain and China had audiences of 27,000 and 21,000 respectively. That is more like it, right? Despite their star power, Team USA couldn't fill a high school gym. I don't even have to tell you how many people there would have been if Caitlin Clark was on the roster. So, what's happening here? Is it simply bad luck, or is anything lacking from the Team USA roster? Well, not exactly. They have a lot of talent without a question, but when you look closer, you notice certain flaws. They are missing that spark, that player who can not only dominate on the court, but also generate large audiences and fire up social media. You know who could fill that vacancy? Yes, Caitlin Clark. We're talking about a player that is more than just talented. She's a game changer. She's the type of player that piques people's interest in women's basketball, something we haven't seen in years. Think about it. The Olympics are the biggest platform in sports. It's where legends are created, and the entire world is watching. And Team USA had the opportunity to display one of the game's most promising young talents, but they passed it up. It's like possessing a hidden weapon, but choosing not to use it. Stephen A. Smith nailed it when he said Team USA's low attendance, especially when compared to other teams, is shameful and reflects poorly on the selection committee's decision not to include recognizable stars like Caitlin Clark. He's not just talking about filling seats, he's talking about lost possibilities. Imagine Caitlin Clark on that Olympic court. Imagine her hitting spectacular long-range shots, threading impossible passes, and bringing the crowd to their feet. That is the type of excitement Team USA is lacking right now. That is the type of athlete who can convert those empty seats into a full house. Now let's get to the main issue, marketing. Stephen A. Smith nailed the nail on the head when he remarked, "Marketing matters in everything, promotion matters in everything, and there's no way around it." He's not just blowing hot air, he's pointing out a significant missed opportunity for Team USA.
I can't stand the Olympics. I'm not talking about the games. I'm not talking about the competition. I'm talking about the way the Olympics treats people, particularly the media. I can't stand it. You have no rights. Everything's so restrictive because you're doing business with everybody and you're milking every penny for all it's worth, every chance you get. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's why you should have had Caitlin Clark.
Think about it. The Olympics are more than simply about winning gold. They are about displaying the world's greatest athletes and getting people interested in sports. Caitlin is currently the most exciting player in women's basketball. Remember the attendance numbers we discussed earlier? The Indiana Fever, led by Clark, draws an average of over 16,000 spectators every game. This isn't just good, it's 4,000 more than the next closest squad. Can you imagine the buzz she might create for Team USA? However, the goal is not only to fill seats, but also to establish a global brand. The NBA figured it out years ago. They sent not just their greatest players to the Olympics, but also their most marketable stars. Remember the Dream Team? It wasn't only about winning gold, it was about instilling basketball fever over the world. Team USA had an opportunity to achieve the same thing in women's basketball. They could have put Caitlin Clark on the largest platform in sports. Imagine the highlight reels, the social media buzz, and the new followers coming in to see what the hoopla is about. That's the type of exposure you can't purchase. Instead, they are missing out. They are missing out on good sales, greater viewership, and sponsorship opportunities. They're passing on an opportunity to convert casual viewers into devoted devotees. And in today's society, where attention is valuable, this is an expensive error. You might be wondering, isn't it simply about the top players? Sure, competence is important, but in international competition, star power is as important. It is about fielding a squad capable of winning not only on the court, but also in the hearts and minds of people all across the world. So, why did Team USA leave Caitlin Clark off their roster? Let us break it down. Some argue that it all comes down to experience. Clark is still young, and international play is a very other ballgame. Others claim that it is about team chemistry. Perhaps they believe she does not fit within the system. But here's the question, are those reasons sufficient to pass on a guy who is altering the game? Now let's discuss Clark's playing style. Did you see her on the court recently? She is more than simply a scorer, she is a playmaker. Her passing ability is incredible, and she can hit shots from anywhere. Imagine that level of ingenuity in international competition, when every possession matters. Clark might be the spark that ignites Team USA's offensive. However, it is not only about Clark's abilities, it is also about what she symbolizes. She represents the future of women's basketball. Leaving her off the squad is a squandered opportunity not only for the now, but also for the future. Coach Dawn Staley even stated that Clark's prospects would have been better if the selection had happened later.
Speaking of NBC's Mike Tirico, South Carolina coach Dawn Staley said Clark's chances of making the team would have been a lot higher if she and her fellow committee members were selecting the roster today rather than several weeks ago. Look at this quote here. Caitlin Clark is just a rookie in the WNBA. Wasn't playing bad, but wasn't playing like she's playing now. If we had to do it all over again, the way that she's playing, she would be in really high consideration of making the team because she's playing head and shoulders above a lot of people. It's hard to argue the impact Clark has had on both ratings and attendance for the WNBA.
That's a strong indication that something has to change. So, what is the fix? Perhaps it is time for Team USA to switch things up. What if they started searching for more than simply experience? What if they took into account star power, marketability, and the potential to develop the game? It's not about replacing the old system, it's about adjusting to a new environment. Experts are chiming in and they are not holding back. They believe Clark's presence might be a game changer for Team USA. It's not only about winning games, it's about winning over supporters. Clark has an amazing ability to get people enthused about women's basketball. Isn't it precisely what you want from an Olympic team? Think about it. The Olympics are a worldwide platform. It is an opportunity to exhibit the world the best of the greatest. Caitlin Clark is currently one of basketball's greatest and brightest talents. Not having her on the squad is like to leaving your greatest player on the bench in the championship game. Just imagine Caitlin Clark on that stage. It would have been game-changing. Unfortunately, we have been robbed of seeing it happen. What do you think? Should Team USA switch things up? And are you on board with Smith's comments? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, let me know who had to be left at home to make place for Clark.